Okay, guys, we are back. Part 2 of our August 2021 real estate market forecast. This is the eviction moratorium update. Okay, first of all, I'm Lance Martin with Coldwell Banker Town and Country. For these purposes, you may or may not be aware, but our sister company is Cobalt Property Management. We manage a lot of homes in the Inland Empire. We've been doing this for 30 plus years. So I kind of have my property manager hat on today. I am extremely passionate about what we're going to be talking about, and I'm going to do everything I can to kind of keep myself in check, because there's going to be a few times in the next 15 minutes that I'm probably just going to want to scream at everybody. So at any rate, it's very important we date and timestamp this. I mean, literally to the hour. August 5th, Thursday, 2021. It's 10:22 a.m. You're probably not even going to get an opportunity to see this video after we get it out of post-production, et cetera, maybe tomorrow. So by the time you're watching this, I'm just going to disclose that something might have changed, because a lot has changed. But I think for the most part, what we're going to present today is going to be sticking for a little while, and it's going to require, frankly, if you're in this space and this is important to you, you are going to need to pay hyper attention to this over the next couple weeks and certainly over the next couple of months. So let's jump in. So what's going on here? So we're going to talk a little bit about the federal moratoriums and what's happened just within the last week, all right? We're going to talk about the state moratoriums, which, by the way, I'm only going to talk about California today, only California. Now, I know I have a lot of landlords that are customers of ours for years. You own and we manage properties for you in Southern California. This applies there. By the way, the federal will apply to your rentals in Texas and some other places wherever you own those. But I'm not going to get into what's going on in your state, because I don't know what's going on in your state. Certainly can't speak to it. And then, of course, the local. So we've got the federal moratoriums, brand new news over the last 48 hours, state moratoriums, news over the last couple of weeks, and then the local is just kind of taking up the end, so to speak. So we're going to start with the local. I'll just take 10 seconds and tell you this is the deal. Even in California, even in the communities that we manage properties in probably 20 or so Southern California cities, and all of those cities have similar but different guidelines. So what Riverside is doing may be different than what Corona or Temecula or Menifee is doing, or San Bernardino, whatever it happens to be. LA certainly is different. So check with your local municipality. If you're in my market, we got you, okay? And if I'm not going to take me 2 hours to explain each one, check with us individually. So we've got the local moratoriums basically still in place. We've got the California moratorium, which we're going to go back and forth, quite honestly, between the federal CDC and between the California. But this is basically where we are in California. I'm not going to do an 18-month chronological timeline of what's happened. I'm going to leave out the first 16 months or so of what's been happening, but I'll give you what's happened in the last few months. Our moratorium was set to expire July 31st. It did expire on July, let me take that back. It did not expire at the last minute. Governor Newsom extended the moratorium through August and September. So currently in California, the moratorium is running through September 30th. Okay, so we got about another month and a half, give or take. Actually 2 months, I'm sorry. Today's the 5th of, right? Today's the 5th of August? Okay, that's important. So we got about 2 months in California to see what happens between now and September 30th. So what else do we got going on? Okay, well, we got the federal, which is basically the CDC, which, guys, this is where I'm going to have to contain myself. Okay, last I checked, the CDC was not a branch of the legislature. Granted, they have emergency powers and authorities. I don't know where those start. I don't know where they stop, but apparently we're not capable at a legislative level of dealing with these. I guess it's just easier for our local politicians to turn to somebody else, and in this case, the CDC, to solve what they think is a problem. So I apologize, we got a little bit of break here on the screen, but again, this PowerPoint will be available on the link that you got here. There'll be a link attached. You can see the entire PowerPoint. So what do we got here? So again, I'm not going to go back for a year and a half. The last moratorium expired June 30th, okay? couple months ago. That moratorium was extended prior to June 30th, and it was extended to July 31st. That's their text here that's cut off, okay? So that was extended to July 31st. For those of you that are following this, and I know there's several of my landlords that have been following this greatly because you have a tenant you need to deal with, maybe get them out. You're trying to sell your property, and it's causing heartburn because we can't get the tenant out. But we kind of thought, okay, maybe we've got a little bit of relief here. And by the way, when this was in place, it was basically corresponding with California's moratorium. They had not yet extended it to September 30th. But anyway, so they extended to July 31st. If you see my little text here in quotes, the Supreme Court came in. So the Supreme Court, United States Supreme Court, came in and said, okay, the CDC's eviction moratorium, from day one, quite honestly, they were challenged. I believe a lawsuit was brought by I think it was the Alabama Association of Realtors, challenged the CDC's authority to actually impose these moratoriums, basically the lockdown. You can't evict people. Supreme Court came in and basically agreed and said, yeah, it's unconstitutional. They can't do this. But when they made that decision, I believe it was in early June, all right? And they said, well, this is the deal. We do think it's unconstitutional. They shouldn't have done it, but it's going to expire in less than 30 days anyway, so we're not going to stay it. We're just going to let it run. So think, okay. Oh, and by the way, they also made something very, very clear. They said if we're going to let it run through July 31st, however, if there is a need or a desire to extend it past July 31st, whether you can find all this stuff, that can be done. It just can't be done by the CDC. It has to be done by the United States Congress. They need to take a look at it and say, all right, we see a need. They need to draft a bill and get it passed and have the Biden administration, President Biden, sign it. Very, very clear in the text. Very, very clear. So if you can see my other little commentary. So what happened after the Supreme Court came in and said, you can't do it, but we're not going to stop it. We're going to let it run through the month of July. Basically what happened was silence, okay? A little bit of stuff in the news, but generally speaking, silence. Nobody's talking about it. And by the way, I've been looking at this. I've been doing meetings on this a couple times a week. And I even have in one of my PowerPoints, I've got silence. Nobody's saying anything. So here we are, we're in the middle of July, July 20th, July 22nd, July 23rd, July 25th. Last week, saying, wow, this is amazing. This eviction moratorium is going to expire on Saturday, July 31st, and nobody's talking about it, which quite honestly, I thought, good news, okay? They're going to let it run. Okay, now I talked to some other people, Barry O'Connor. Barry's video is still attached on our links. It's 6 months old. It's still valid. Go watch it. Everything he says is still valid. But I talked to Barry, and Barry said, Lance, you're out of your mind. It's going to be extended. And not only is it going to be extended to these dates, it's going to be extended to the end of the year, December 31st. Now, that was Barry's opinion. I thought, well, wow, no one's talking about it, Barry. How could this be possible? How are they going to extend this out? So you started to get a little bit of chatter last week, and hey, you know, again, this is our government, this is our legislature. You know, why do something today when you can wait till tomorrow? So as we get closer and closer to the end of last week, you start to get a little bit of chatter. However, President Biden comes out and number one, he says, I don't have the authority to extend it. Look at what the Supreme Court said. The Supreme Court said, I can't do it. They also said the CDC can't do it. Hey, legislature, you need to do it. So, and again, without getting too political here, now you've got the Democrats in the legislature pointing the fingers at the Biden administration, saying, hey, all you had to do is read the order from the Supreme Court. It said you guys had to do it. You got a little bit of infighting within the Democratic Party, and of course, I mean, they control all branches of the legislature right now. And the bottom line is it didn't get done. So the eviction moratorium expires on Saturday at midnight. That's this past Saturday. That's 5 days ago, okay? Expired. What happened after the expiration? Chaos happened. So now you've got the media and some legislators and the president kind of saying, well, what are we going to do? So the more chaos, now I'm starting to get, okay, something's going to happen. So we went from silence to expiration to chaos. So again, I'm not going to turn this into a political thing. I'm super political, but not in this setting, okay? So at any rate, now we go to chaos. The whole world is falling apart. I'll put my toe in the water one more time on the political side. So as I'm watching, this was on, by the way, on August 3rd, 2 days ago, Tuesday, 2 days ago, I think around noon, the CDC came back out. I was going to say under pressure. I don't know. They came back out with a 19-page order, which basically extended the eviction moratorium for 60 days from August 3rd to October 3rd. But before that happened, a lot of stuff going on. You have legislators sleeping on the steps of the Capitol in Washington, D.C. You have, again, this is, you can look it up, and Maxine Waters is not in my district. She's in the 43 district. She is a California, United States Congresswoman in the 43 district, which is basically West Los Angeles, LA Airport, for those of you that aren't familiar where that is. But the point being is, I'm not picking on Maxine Waters necessarily, but she lives in California. She's been in the Congress representing California a long time, 25 years, maybe more, a long time, okay? She's on television, guys, prior to this extension. I believe it was on Monday. It might have even actually been Tuesday. No, excuse me, it was Monday. I'm watching it live. And Maxine is interested in the extension of the moratorium, and I get that. I get that. You know, I mean, I have reasons I think it's a bad idea. Other people have reasons they think it's a fine idea. That's fine. We can talk about that. We can agree. We can disagree. I'm okay with that, okay? This is the part I'm not okay with. She's on live television on Monday, August 2nd, the day before this. And she's talking to, it was MSNBC. It was the Ayman Mohyeldin Reports show, MSNBC, I think at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, every single day. I'm watching it. And I'm paraphrasing, but you guys can try to find it. I've been trying to find the clip. I can't, but I'm going to get this about 99% accurate, the quote. We need to extend it. These are the reasons why. And this is the part that I lost my mind on. There's a state that's already extended this, and we need to follow suit of what that state has done. I don't know what state it is, but there's already one state that's extended the moratorium. She doesn't know what state it is. The state that's already extended the moratorium is the state that she represents. It's California, okay? The state that she represents has extended the moratorium, and they did it a week before, 2 weeks before, a month before. So anyway, so this is why I'm concerned, because these are the folks that are making the rules. These are the folks that are pushing the hot buttons. And you have a legislator from California that apparently is unaware that the state that she represents has already done the extension. It's mind-blowing. Okay, enough of the politics. So at any rate, so this is the deal. Now that moratorium is extended to October 3rd. So this is a 19-page order that came from the CDC. It came out on, I don't know if this is date stamped, on the 3rd, August 3rd, 2 days ago. This is the last page, which, by the way, you got to get to page 19 to actually see the order. The first 18 pages are justifications. You know, if we do see large increases, which very well may be true, I'm not going to argue that. If we see large increases in foreclosures, that could create a larger homeless problem. The homeless problem, of course, then gets into the wheelhouse of the CDC, because that could cause, spread of more infection. So that's the argument. But anyway, so here it is. So here's their order, August 3rd to October 3rd. There it is. You can go check it out. So that's what we've got. It's already being challenged. So this is what we have for now, guys. Let's just put a bow on this thing. California, running to September 30th. All right? CDC tacked on a few extra days, October 3rd. So I've got my little tagline, and I guess my close is be prepared for further extensions. There's a lot of news right now about spread and Delta variants and other variants, and I don't want to get into that right now, but if that discussion and those media trends tend to continue as we get closer to the end of September, then I think it's almost a given that these will be extended. If they do extend them again, I'm certain it'll be extended at least till December 31st. And my forecast, my prediction, if you will, if it gets extended to September 31st, then it is almost guaranteed that the eviction moratoriums will be extended into 2022, because who wants to be talking and have the uncertainty of an eviction moratorium ending in the month of December? Holidays, whatever. So I think it's almost guaranteed that these extensions would get pushed into, which, again, my opinion, if it's not clear, these are a bad idea. These are a bad idea, not to minimize people that are having difficult times, but this, in my opinion, is not the best solution, and God forbid we did something targeted. If we could, which is impossible apparently, if we could do something more targeted, but this is not targeted, this is blanket. So that is the latest on what we've got going on the eviction moratorium. We'll have more for you in September. I want to thank you for watching our monthly update. We'll be back again first week of September. And of course, you can reach out to me or anybody on our team, Coldwell Banker Town & Country or Cobalt Property Management. Hope you're doing well, and we'll see you soon.